Yo, what is going on, everybody? Shri Kanase here. So here are the 5 things I wish I knew about Google Ads before actually starting to even use them. Now, just a little recap in case this is the first time you're literally watching one of my videos. I have been a Facebook ads guy for the longest time ever. In fact, I found my first initial success with Facebook ads, and ever since then I was pretty much hooked onto Facebook, just doing whatever I possibly could to keep my main store running with Facebook ads. Unfortunately, after a period of time, I did start to notice that I was putting in way too much effort for minimal results with Facebook, and this really got me started into finding different advertising platforms to begin using. One of them, of course, was Google Ads. Ever since I started using Google Ads about 2 years ago from today, I knew that this was the advertising platform I wanted to basically master, simply because it was much different from Facebook. There were a lot of benefits to it because Google is literally one of the biggest platforms out there which you can sell on. Literally everybody and their dog uses Google Ads, but in addition, Google was fairly new at that time. There weren't really that many tutorials available out there, not many Shopify's, dropshippers even using Google, and that got me started with Google. And here I am today after about $1.5 million in sales only via Google Ads within the past year and a half. So what do I really wish I had known before starting Google Ads? I'm going to be talking about the 5 things. Before we do that, make sure to smash that like button down below. Gonna take just 2 quick seconds. Okay, hopefully you have smashed the like button down below, but let's just get right into it. So the thing number 1, which a lot of people actually don't even know about right now, and if they're new, they're just starting to get into Google Ads, they really doubt this, is they believe Google Ads is against the dropshipping model as a whole. I wish I knew when I started back then, and even right now, if I were to start a brand new Shopify store, that Google Ads is not against dropshipping. It is against dropshippers who are here for the quick buck, the quick sales, or to basically scam people. And make sure to spell scam right. But Google Ads definitely is over it with the dropshippers trying to make a quick buck, just selling from China directly, sourcing from China, or just basically here not to even send any type of item and try to build a legitimate business from Chinese suppliers only. There's various different reasons as to why Google is now against this. One of the main reasons is because one of Google's employees was actually scammed by a dropshipping website a few months ago, and it was on the Google Ads news, which could have been one of the leading factors of this drastic change in what they accept and what they do not accept. Number 2, a lot more customers are starting to complain regarding the slow shipping times, the quality of the item, and so forth. This led Google Ads and its team to basically reconsider what kind of stores it was allowing on its platform. Because one thing a lot of people fail to realize, and what I didn't really even grasp myself in the beginning, was Google Ads is a business. It is not a business for you. It is a business to earn customers, meaning the people that use Google Ads to search for products. It is a business catering to them. So they are Google's number 1 priority, and you are Google's number 2 priority as the advertiser. A lot of dropshippers or just e-com store owners kind of mess this up and they don't even know about this, but this is the reality. You are not Google's main priority. You do not want to think that you can do whatever you want and get away with it, especially nowadays. This is something, again, I really didn't understand, but as of right now, this is one thing you must understand in order to find any type of success with Google. Google is not against dropshipping. It is against those dropshippers trying to make a quick buck or basically here to scam. So this means you need to transfer your business more towards the sourcing from eBay or from other American suppliers as a whole, rather than just relying on AliExpress. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, I've made a video on this. I'll leave the link in the description below for that. But definitely make sure to spend more time trying to find these American suppliers, trying to find products which you can source from directly from the US, because that is what is going to make your Google Ads account not only get approved to the Merchant Center in 2021, but also keep it approved and help you keep getting sales long term consistently. But this is definitely something I wish I had known before I started Google Ads. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is during the bad performance days, meaning the days when you're losing money, or even the weeks, you have literally no other choice but to sit back and wait. I did not know about this in the beginning because, as I mentioned, I was coming directly from Facebook. I had the instinct of just going in every few seconds, every few minutes to see if there was anything I could change or improve. And this really got to me in the first initial month and even the entire year of using Google Ads, because as I always mention in a lot of my videos, you should not be making constant changes with your Google Ads campaigns, because that is the best way to basically ruin everything up. And if you're not really sure what I'm even talking about, I do offer one-on-one Google Ads mentoring that goes more in depth into these things, but also into the actual strategies I currently use to find success with Google Ads and achieve over 7 figures in sales yearly. If you want more info on that, just send me a message on Instagram at DedicatedYoung, and I'll be sure to let you know more information about the one-on-one Google Ads mentoring. But this was very hard for me, just sitting back and basically waiting and doing nothing with my campaigns. Slowly over time, I realized that the more changes I was making that to constantly, the more the performance was declining. So after realizing this, I started to let my campaign basically run even if it was performing bad on any given days or even any given weeks, and just not touch it until 7 days had passed or even 14 days had passed. As I started to do this more and more often, I noticed that those days when I was not doing anything on my campaigns, when it had basically been running for an entire week without any changes, were the days I was getting the highest ROAS, which was absolutely mind-blowing for me because, again, I came from Facebook. This was not something too common for me. So I wish I had known this in the beginning because that would have got me more profits from the start. Basically, bad performance days or weeks, you do nothing but sit back and wait for Google to get back on track. Now, of course, if the bad performance is because you changed something and you edited something and now it's performing really bad, then that is a different scenario. That is when you might want to go in and see exactly why there's bad performance, what you can do about it, and so forth. But otherwise, if you have literally changed nothing, then it's just the basic fluctuations of the market. Not every day the same amount of customers are going to search for your product. Not every day are you going to get the same sales. That's just how Google works, and that's just reality of e-commerce. So during the bad performance days or weeks, just sit back, relax, and let Google do its thing. If it continuously happens for more than 14 days, go in and lower the bid, maybe even lower the budget. But continue the proper optimizations that way, and don't go too crazy with the optimizations, because this is one of the things I wish I had known in the beginning, and as I mentioned, would have saved me a lot of lost profits. But this brings me to point number 3, and that is pricing is literally not the main factor which determines your success with Google Ads. This is one big misconception a lot of people using Google Ads have, and that is you can compare pricing with Google Ads. That means you need to price it to be the lowest amongst your competitors. Otherwise, you're not going to get any results. You're not going to get any sales. You're going to fail. That is far from the truth, and this is one thing I actually believed in the beginning, and I wish I had known, because then I would have got much more profits and higher profit margins. Note, this does not mean that pricing absolutely plays no role in determining whether you find any success with Google Ads or not, because of course, if you want to sell a dog necklace, nobody is going to buy your dog necklace for $10,000. That's just the reality. Pricing in that sense is going to, of course, affect your sales. However, it is not one of the main things, because there's a lot more factors that go into determining whether somebody wants to buy from you or not. Some include the actual product image you're using, the titles that you have, the search engine optimization you did, and so forth. And for this, again, I recommend looking more into my Google Ads mentoring if you're not really sure how to go about this, or my other YouTube videos which go more into details about the main factors which determine your success with Google Ads. But definitely one thing I wish I had known, and that is, again, pricing is one of the main things, but not the major things. If you ask me personally what the major thing is, I would say the image, because I'm able to sell a lot of products which other competitors are selling for less, for more than $50 their cost at a profit, and those products are winning products for me. Why? Because of the image that I'm using. So always focus on these other factors as well, not just the pricing, because pricing is one of the factors, but not the main one and not the only one. Let's move on to the 4th thing I wish I had known, and that is, while the competitive bids are important, they're not the only factors which affect your ranking. Just a few days ago, I had a consulting student who asked me how they would rank amongst those people with higher profit margin products, selling those products for $1,000, $2,000, because then that means they also were able to bid much higher than my student. And while that is definitely true, you want to understand that that is not the only factor affecting your ranking. As I just mentioned previously, that pricing is not the only issue. The bidding is also not the only issue. You can be bidding very competitively, ranking within the top 5 to top 10 listings, and having a lot of people click on your ad and go on your product page, but still be at a loss or not even getting any sales. And this all boils down to what kind of product image that you have. What is your pricing? Did you do proper search engine optimization? Meaning, are you ranking for the keyword dog necklace when you're trying to sell a cat necklace, or are you ranking for similar keywords which are relevant to your product? Because without these things, you will not really be ranking for the right things. You will not be ranking for the right auctions, because every time a search is done on Google, your listing is put inside an auction amongst other competitors. And if you do everything right, meaning the image is right, the bidding is right, the price is right, then you win that auction and you have the ability to win that person's click. But if you're just from the beginning ranking in the wrong auctions, or maybe your pricing is way too high, maybe your image is not showcasing the product, so even though you're ranking, nobody's clicking on your ad, these things are going to directly impact your ranking. So competitive bids are important, but the bidding itself does not affect your ranking, or in Google Ads case, it's known as quality score. So what exactly affects your quality score? The bidding does of course affect your quality score, along with the CTR of your campaigns, and if people are actually buying from you. So what happens when somebody goes on the product page? Do they just leave right away? Is your bounce rate very high? Or do they stay there for 10 minutes every single time and interact with your website thoroughly? These things affect your ranking, and you can, in a lot of the cases, rank number 1, number 2, number 3 with a much lower bid than somebody who's ranking number 5 or number 10, simply because more people are interacting with your ad, not theirs, or more people are buying from you and not them, so your CPC is naturally going down. So this is one thing I wish I knew. This would have saved me a lot of time and energy trying to focus on bidding much higher than my competitors, because in reality, it is not one of the most important things. But this brings me to the last thing that I wish I knew about Google Ads, and that is scaling is a time-based process. You can try to increase your budget on your winning campaigns by $50, $100, do it 2 times, 3 times, and so forth, but all that's gonna do is ruin your campaign. And this is something I wish I had known, because in the beginning, as I had come from Facebook ads, I believed that the best way to scale is by doubling the campaign budget, or by creating another duplicated campaign and increasing the campaign budget by 5 times, 10 times. You can't set the new campaign's budget at $500 a day, $1,000, $2,000, or so forth. But if the audience is not right for that campaign, or if the product itself is really not searched that often, or you were just getting a few lucky sales, your new campaign or the scaled campaign is simply not going to perform or get you the desired result. So scaling is a time-based process. You want to be increasing your budget by 20% every few days, 7 to 14 days or so, and no more than that, because anytime you do bigger changes, all that you do is restart the optimization process, and this can lead to a lot of issues with you getting enough sales. So always take it nice and slow. And again, it's something I wish I knew, because I try to rush things like I would with Facebook, and this is not something you can do with Google Ads. But these are the 5 things I wish I had known before getting into Google Ads. Again, if you're looking for more one-on-one mentoring, if you don't want to just spend money learning these things unnecessarily and learn from my own mistakes, send me a message on Instagram at DedicatedYoung. I do take on new students every single month. But if you found any type of value in this video, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.